Before performing any type of work on Masabi products, consult factory before proceeding with any work that might involve a warranty plan. Servicing may void the warranty. Always call L&M Radiator customer service with questions. Always consult the appropriate service manual when servicing Masabi products. To make a repair on a system protector, you will need a supply of seals. You will also need the following items available from L&M: tube driver tool, O-ring tool, seal lube brush, and plastic assembly bullets. You will need a lubricant as recommended in the service manual. Before working on any Masabi heat exchanger, it should be cleaned inside and out with high-pressure hot water with or without soap. Before disassembly, note the location of the sight tube assemblies or sensors for reinstallation. Note the orientation notches on the end tanks, header plates, and the shell flanges for reinstallation. Note the orientation of the mounting feet so they can be reinstalled in the same orientation. Remove tank end retainer bolts, nuts, washers, feet, and both end tanks. Mark which side the tank ends are removed from, as they may be different. Carefully remove and clean the O-ring seal off the header to tank end. Remove the 1 1/4 inch header plate retainer bolts holding the header to shell flange. Remove the 5/8 inch cap bolts holding the two header pieces together. Insert the back-out bolts with at least 3 inches of thread into the back-out holes until tight against the shell flange. Once the back-out bolts are in contact with the end flange, turn the back-out bolts no more than 1/2 turn per bolt to remove the header plate. If tubes stay attached to the header, use the tube driver tool to push them out of their seals and back into the baffle assembly. Remove the header from the shell flange. Push the tubes from the remaining header using the tube driver tool. Remove the second header in the same manner as the first. Remove the tubes one at a time and place on table or cart. Carefully remove and clean the O-ring seal off the header plates. Clean the sealing surfaces, being careful not to mar them. Use the Masabi seal insertion and removal tool to remove all the seals from headers. Clean the tube ends to make sure they are free of foreign material. Separate the two-piece headers and remove the large O-ring seals and clean. Clean the sealing surfaces of the header plates, being careful not to mar them. Clean the assembly, tubes, shell, and baffle using a high-pressure wash. Dry them completely. Lubricate and install large O-ring seals between header plates. Install the 5/8 inch cap bolts. Do not tighten at this time. Carefully install new seals into the clean headers. Wider seals go into the wider seal grooves and the narrower seals go into the inner seal grooves. Lube the seals with a lubricant and brush specified in the System Protector Service Manual. Adequately lube the seals, but do not use excessive amounts. Lay both header plates down on a clean surface with the narrower O-ring groove facing up. Apply a thin layer of lubricant to the plastic assembly bullets and install them into all the tube holes in both header plates. Tapered ends of bullets go into the holes first. Install new header-to-end flange seals into the header plate. Add a slight amount of assembly lube to hold the seal in place. Install one header plate to end of the cooler. Note the orientation notches on the header plate and the shell flange. Ensure they are lined up. Install the header retainer bolts. Leave loose until all tube ends are pushed into the header plates. Apply a light coat of assembly lube to the clean tube ends. From the opened end of the cooler, install 4 tubes through the baffle assembly and into the attached header plate at 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock positions to maintain baffle to header alignment. Using the tube driver tool, push the tubes through the seals until the tube's shoulders bottom out on the header plate. This will push the plastic assembly bullets out of the header plate. Align the second header plate tube holes with the tubes, ensuring the orientation notches are lined up. Insert the header plate draw-down bolts into the header plate retainer bolt holes. Pull the header plate in place with the header plate draw-down bolts. Do this uniformly by alternately tightening each bolt around the perimeter, 1/2 turn at a time. Tighten until the header is tight to the shell. Remove header plate draw-down bolts and plastic assembly bullets. Install proper header retainer bolts and torque both headers as recommended in the System Protector Service Manual. Inspect tube holes for remnants of torn rubber seals. If necessary, replace damaged seals. Install the tank ends, ensuring to line up the orientation notches. Insert bolts, flat washers, nuts. Install the mounting feet in the same orientation as they were removed on each end and tighten. Plug off all ports in preparation for pressure testing the cooler for leaks. Leave one detection port in each header open for testing. To test the shell side, typically the oil side, follow the pressure cycle steps in the System Protector Service Manual. Only use fittings appropriate for the test procedure and apply pressure slowly. With the cooler underwater and after residual bubbles are gone, begin the test sequence. Check for leaks at the detection ports and tube ends. If a leak is detected, it should be an inner O-ring seal. Pressure should be released prior to repair. To test the tube side, typically the water side, follow the pressure cycle steps in the System Protector Service Manual. Begin the sequence of pressure cycles as stated in the System Protector Service Manual. Check for leaks at the detection port. If a leak is detected, it should be an outer LS or LT seal. Repair as required. After any repair, restart the test sequence at step 1 and continue until the sequence of pressure cycle tests has been completed. Remember to dry the detection chamber after testing. Dry it from the sight tube detection port by removing the plug opposite the sight tube. Once dry, install the sight tube assemblies. Remember, this video is not a substitute for information contained in service manuals. Manuals are available online at www.mesabi.com or by calling toll-free in the United States and Canada at 1-800-346-3500. Tools and parts can also be ordered and shipped within 24 hours. MasterCard and Visa accepted.